Oh yeah, see. I got a whole setup. I got a whole setup. All right, so here we go. We are live here in the kitchen. What's cooking? Listen, we got a special guest today, guys. But I hope the week is going good for everybody because today was a great day for me as well. I had some things I had to take care of, but just going forward and just being productive always. And I hope you guys continues being productive and always being encouraged and encouraging somebody else. So, with further ado, we're going to introduce our guest, Coach Lewis. That's what we call him. He's a teacher. He's a leader. And we want to give him the floor. We're going to give him the floor. What we're going to talk about what the topic is today. The topic is and did y'all hear me?
No.
You going in and out.
Got it. Look, what's going on? Did y'all hear me?
Mm.
Coach, did you hear me?
Somewhat.
Okay,
You
so
keep going like in and out.
no, in and out, yeah. But so today's topic is the bridge in the gap. The bridge in the gap. And it can be understanding to some, but confusing to others. So we're gonna let Coach. When I say the bridge in the gap, I know we talked about it earlier. What is the first thing that come to your mind when someone says the bridge in the gap for you?
You saying the bridge in the gap or the bridge and the gap? Like I'm trying to.
Not all right. So watch this. So I'm
Right.
glad you asked that question.
Uh-huh.
The bridge is in what? It's in a gap
Right. Oh, it's in the
because
gap.
you can't
Okay.
you can't get to the
Okay.
other side. All right.
Right.
The bridge in the gap. And so let me explain. So since you asked me that, let me elaborate on it. When I say the bridge in the gap, so there are two sides to the bridge. One to
Of
come
course.
in, one to leave. And there is something that has to be strong enough to allow whatever's coming, whatever's traveling to the other side. It has to be strong enough. So there are certain individuals that are the bridge in the gap. You have to be strong enough to withstand some of the things that's going to concur, that's going to happen along that road. So when I say the bridge in the gap, are you the bridge in the gap for others? Because for me, and I use this topic because I am the bridge in the gap for others. Because guess what? I help them along the way. I encourage
Mm.
them because sometimes people are fearful to move forward. They get scared, so they don't want to go to the other side. The other side is prosperous. The other side is success. The other side is you know happiness, peace, joy. Some people want to stay on the other side because guess what? They feel like I can't make it. I can't go through the things I need to go through to get to the other side. So we are standing in the gap for them to encourage them, to bring them to the other side, to bring them peace, to bring them happiness. Because guess what? Sometimes people get stuck on one side of the road, one side, and then they can't get there and grasp how to get to the other side. So when I say the bridge in the gap, are you the bridge in the gap for others?
I mean, I would say so. I really didn't introduce myself, but I'm a teacher. I know Lady T, I didn't have a chance to talk to you prior to, but me and Chef did. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 17 years, going into my 18th year. And just as a teacher, like that's the most important thing is being that bridge in the gap, as you so eloquently stated. Um, Especially for young men that look like me. That was a driving motivation for me to get into this profession because you don't really see too many men that look like me or you in the profession.
Right.
So, when you're saying being that, the bridge and the gap, it's more than like for me in the profession, I teach math. Don't ask me why I decided to teach math. One of the hardest subjects out there, right? It's hard to keep everybody's attention, but I always stress to the kids that I'm not just here to teach you math. Like we gonna learn a lot more along the way. So when you're saying the bridge and the gap, I have to teach a bunch of things, especially to the young brothers. I got to teach them to move from childhood to young adulthood to manhood. You know, a lot of times they don't really have male role models at home, or they might have male role models, but they might not be the best. And you know, I take pride in. You saying something? I'm sorry, Chef.
No, no, you good.
All right.
You good.
You know, I just take pride in being a role model for other things. One, it's not a lot of black male teachers. It's not a lot of black male math teachers. So, you know, I want to represent that. I'm a father. You know what I mean? I want to show them that, listen, it's okay to love one woman and start a family with one woman. You know what I mean? And
That's
love
what I'm
that
talking about.
woman forever. You know what I mean? It's okay. You know what I mean? Instead of going out here and creating broken homes and stuff like that. You know, I want to show them that you can still be educated, sophisticated, and be ignorant at times. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. You know, you could be the best of both worlds. You know, because like I said, I'm educated, but you know, I still like to have fun.
Okay,
You
there's
know,
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
yeah, it's not wrong with that. And you know, but I want to show them that because sometimes they just get into this, you know, they glorify the wrong stuff. And like I said, I seen it all. I seen a lot, you know, especially working with young kids and how we met working with those the kids that for the organization for the FSO where your wife works at Dr. Davis, an event that we met at. Like those
Right.
kids are even more at risk youth. And you know, when they sit down and they, you know, we start talking, they're like, man, I never met somebody like you, or no adult man has ever sat down and talked to me this way, you know? So that's what I mean about you just as you stated, bridging that gap. You know, I want to show them listen, you could still be you and still be cool and do all these other things and not be what society labels you to be.
T, do you have any questions for him? You wanted to
Yeah.
say something? I look
What's
like
the age range that you teach? Is it mostly boys or is it a mix of boys and girls?
Oh, I teach high school, so it's boys and you know boys and girls.
Okay. What's the
And
age? Like grade?
from 14 to 18.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That,
You know, all the high school. All right. That's good.
all high school. Listen, they put me everywhere, and they I know I'm going off topic. I'm sorry, Steph,
All right.
but
no, you good. You good.
they
You good. You good. This is a
always
safe place.
say,
You can talk like that.
all right. So I worked 15 years in Roselle. I was there, Abraham Clark, and they used to always give me the most at-risk kids in the building, and they would say, "Yo, you got a gift. You know how to deal with them." And I say, I don't call it a gift. I'm just authentic, you know. And then that I think, and while all the other teachers would have problems and stuff with them kid, they like I said, I've had some classes, and that some people wouldn't even make it through after a week. I seen teachers leave out crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but it's just as you said, like it's a calling. I think me and you had this conversation yesterday, Chef, where you said it's a calling.
Yeah.
When it's a calling, like no weapon formed against me gonna prosper because this is my calling, you know.
And I just want to just congratulate you because to be a teacher is a lot of people don't recognize how hard it is to be a teacher, not all, as well as a black teacher.
Yeah.
But just know this that is a gift, and the reason why it's a gift because most people do not know how to communicate with young teenagers, young adults, and that is a gift that God given you. And not only with the children, I guarantee you, you'll be able to communicate with men on that level as well, because you'll be able to distinguish where to reach them at, where you can communicate, where you can, talk to them on their level, because you'll be able to understand. Because, as if you look at it, we all were children at once. So with that ability that you do have, you'll be able to talk to a whole heap of people on a level, because you'll be able to understand them. As you talk to them, you'll get to know that individual quickly, because of being, like I said, that's a gift. That is something that God has given you, and you're going to excel in that no matter what. When you be a teacher, listen, you'll be able to, because you know what? First of all, you know what it takes to learn to teach somebody. So that's the key. You already learned that was something that was given to you, and it came to you. Because being a teacher is not easy. You gotta have patience, and I'm pretty sure you got patience. You gotta have patience.
You have to. You
got
have
to. Listen, yeah.
No, I'm going to say, because I think a lot of times the kids test you to see how far they could push you before you like break or you quit. And it's just me and my personality. Like, people say, like, yo, you so patient, like, all the time. And I think it's just something that I've grown to understand. Kids, no matter what people like, one thing I hate what teachers do is when they know you're getting a student, they want to tell you about that student. Don't tell me about that student. I don't want to know your opinion about that student. Because you know why? Kids gonna act different depending on the person standing in front of them.
Exactly. That's so true. That's true. That's like what you just said is like so. And watch this. And that only just don't just let me get my thoughts together. It only just spill on children, but adults too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The way you talk, the way you carry yourself, that's how people react to your personality. They know who they can test and who they can't, because guess what? You're not having that. They know it. Just the way you move, how you talk. They say, nah, you know what? Coach ain't having that. So how you doing, coach? But they go to the next teacher, they be like, whatever, cursing at them. And all you gotta do is be like, just like a child. You look at them like, yo, what? No, I'm not having that. Stop. Don't do that. And they look at you like, because you made for that. You know what I'm saying? You have the ability, like I said, to do that. And most people don't have that, and listen, the reason why I say that to you is because guess what? I deal with a lot of people on different levels on a daily basis. And guess what? I've learned that too. You know what I'm saying? Am I a teacher? No, I think I am a little bit, because this is what I'm doing. I'm just trying to show people, the way. And some people might not receive the way that I'm teaching. And I get that. So, and that's why it's good. That's why I say it's a gift, because some people are not meant to be teachers. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the ability a teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're teaching. They're teaching. People
did
are
you hear
all.
what I said, guys?
Yes, and I said they are. Everybody is always teaching something. Your behavior is showing
Right.
what you're teaching to a person. So we're all doing some type of teaching. But I do applaud you as well for being a teacher at high school students that you're dealing with, and all the personality and behaviors that come with that. I applaud teachers in the school system. I have a friend, she's a female that deals with challenging children that are younger, but to have the patience and to come onto a level of the innocent, because there's innocence in the children. And you kind of don't see it when you get into that high school. They're a little bit different. They lost a little bit of their innocence, right? They're growing into who they are supposed to become. And a person like you that is teaching in the right way to help that student, that you are like somebody that there might not be anybody in the household for that student that can get that type of, education and knowledge that you bring. So I applaud you. I do adore the fact that people that are passionate about what they do, and you sound as if you're passionate. You seem as if you like it. So what I think is, well, what I have a question about is like when I know, as us as people and when we are younger, how we act when we are in school. How do you deal with a challenging child who does not want to learn, who does not want to focus on their education? What do you do to get them on track? Because that right there is like how I see teachers, like, the challenge of it, the challenge of trying to get a student to engage in their lessons, to learn from it. I mean, do you take in account for, like, how their program is and how they, their grades? I mean, how do you teach? Because I am curious. I've always wanted to ask questions like this to a teacher. So I feel like I have the best opportunity.
Listen, ask away. So it's tough because people ask this all the time. Like one, like I said, I teach math. That's probably the hardest subject. No one likes math. They come in there every year telling me how they hate it.
Mhm.
And I take that. I take that on the chin. I accept that. First question I ask every year: how many of y'all hate math? That's the first question. So I do things differently. Most teachers want to give you the rules of the class and stuff like that. I never give them the class rules because as young adults, we all know the rules, right? And once they know the rules, I feel like they're gonna say, all right, let me see how close to the line I can get
Mhm.
before I cross it too much. So I never state the rules because the school got rules for you already. You know the rules. You know how you're supposed to conduct yourself. So I'll spend a lot more time trying to get to know them. And then when I plan my lessons, like I plan my lessons around things that they're interested in, and bring that into the class. That way is it fits them. You got to tailor fit. When we talk about being a bridge is two ways, right? So
Mhm.
although I'm there to teach them, I'm also there to learn from them because the more that I learn from them, it's going to help me each year. It's going to make each year easier. So I spend a lot of times learning from the kids, and then I'll tell them like, listen, we're going to spend this year not learning math. And I know that sounds crazy coming from a math teacher and I'm telling students I'm not going to teach you math, but in the grand scheme of things, you only need to know four things in math: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And I asked them that first. If you know that, that's all I need you to know. Everything else we're gonna work on is building you up so you can be prepared for when you get out of here. So I think that's why a lot of kids like the class because sometimes you got to read your audience sometimes. And sometimes like I've had instances where kids, I see a kid in class, they head down or they crying or something going on. I gotta take a time out, y'all. Just give me 2 seconds. Pull that kid in the hallway. What's going on? You all right? You want to talk about it? Listen, I need you to talk about it, or if you need to go for a walk, you need to go talk to the counselor. Go talk to the counselor, and that messes kids' mind up because they like, wait, you care about what's going on with me eternally? Like you supposed to teach math because most teachers literally live up to that name. They just teach whatever this is what they paid me to do. This is what I'm gonna do. That's not why I got into the profession. I got into the profession to motivate, inspire, So my purpose in the classroom is a lot different than other teachers. And the good ones, like I think I could walk into a teacher's classroom and I could say, that's a good teacher. All right, that's somebody that's here for a paycheck. You could feel the difference. And when you step into the classroom, and I think that instead of teaching math, I just build a culture. And the culture that I build in the classroom is why I pull the greatness out of all the kids, even the ones that the teachers be like, "Oh, he not gonna be anything." I say, after 10 months with me, you'll change your mind about it.
So do you also, are you giving other teachers that good advice and guidance on how you do it? Or do you think that other teachers are kind of like paying attention to you and following your lead?
So I'm gonna say this: adults are a lot more difficult than kids,
Mhm.
right? I'm gonna be 100% honest. And a lot of times, adults don't take too kind to you trying to give them suggestions.
Mm.
because it makes it seem like, well, you think you know it all.
Yeah.
So I don't. I've never given teachers advice. I'm never giving them like, you need this, you need that. If a teacher comes to me and asks for help, that's one thing. If you come to me and ask for help, let me help you. Because you're asking for help, you're seeking it out. But if they don't come to me, I'm not offering up anything. But I invite anybody into my classroom. Hey, y'all want to come in there? Come in there. Some teachers have come in there, and the same kids that they talked about, the same kids I got up at the board teaching a lesson, and their mind is blown.
Right.
Yo, how you get him to do that? You ever spoke to him? You ever found out what he interested in, or was she interested in? Have you took that and pulled that into the classroom? So it's go ahead.
Wait, I have one more question before.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do you see a change in the children from, let's say, the last 5-6 years? Because I think of COVID, right? I think of how we all had to be home and things were different, very, very different. Do you see a change in the behavior, in the mindset of the children from, let's say, 5 to 10 years within that time period?
At first, but I think it's kind of the effects of COVID are slowly wearing off.
Okay.
When they first came back, they were socially awkward. Everybody like, I don't want to be here. I was enjoying being at home and sleeping all day and doing what I wanted to do and all that other stuff. But now that we're back, it's like I said, I don't really feel it as much.
Yeah. Okay.
You had something you wanted to say, Sha? Oh yeah. What I wanted to say to you is that when as I listen to you, right, and I say to you, this is how important your task is that you have the ability to recognize. See, like you said, most teachers don't do that. What you said, and you come from a place of peace. You know what I'm saying? You might have grown. Let's say where did you grow up at? Where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Roselle. You
grew up in Roselle all your life.
So most of my life, yeah.
Yeah, and you went to. I heard you say, what school did you go to?
So I went to Abraham Clark for high school. I graduated from there, and then I came back to work there.
So here's and see, this is why I said, and I heard you say about a gift. That's why it's a gift for you, because guess what? Listen, your compassion for a child, that's not something that just some people don't have that. You have when you're a teacher, you could be like you said, you could be like, you know what, this he don't want to learn, freaky. All right, I'm gonna teach the other 14 children. And the other 4, you say, you know what, forget it, man. I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's something that God has instilled in you. You know what I'm saying? Truly, because guess what? Like you said, and I grew up in that in Newark all my life, and there were teachers be like, oh, you don't want to learn? All right, move on. They'll put you all to the side and say, you know what? My teachers used to say, I'm getting paid no matter what. No, I'm serious.
I hear that a lot.
That's what they say. I'm getting paid no matter what. So if you want to learn, that's on you. If you don't, okay, I'm still going to get paid. But see, that's the wrong attitude to have. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know, and I know you know, because that's as we speak to you, this is what happens. They don't know what's going on at home. They're not indulging in those kids' life and realizing that they might have something going on at home that now they don't have no outlet to release that pain, release that frustration. And so when they get to school, they like, you know what? They got an attitude. They like, they don't even know if they ate or at home. So they don't know what's going on. So to have that compassion is something that God has given you. And now, and I, like I said, when I met you, I was like, oh my goodness, I want this guy to come on. I want this guy to let the people know that it's other men out here that's trying to encourage, that's trying to do the right thing, because like you said, we need that. We don't have a lot of role models. Men role models we don't have. Everybody's they want the almighty dollar. They're not trying to really encourage. Do we have a lot of people that want to encourage, yes, but guess what? Are they doing it solely from a place of love, a heart, and not looking for money? You know what I'm saying? That everybody wants to get that almighty dollar, but are you doing it with a loving heart? You know what I'm saying? Unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to do that because guess what? Sometimes when you become famous, you forget about it. Sometimes. That's why I said sometimes people forget about the little people, but the little people are still trying to get to where you at. You know, you have to be able to comprehend the way they're living, because sometimes kids don't live, in a good atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? I was just one of the few that was lucky to have good parents, great grandparents, a good family. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm here today, just trying to encourage people, young parents, young adults. It's a better way. You don't just look for the dollar. Look for, like I said, look for peace, joy, happiness. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we talk about the bridge, the gap, because guess what? There is something under the bridge. I want to get to that real quick. There's something under the bridge. It depends on what it is. Like, you got to understand, there are so many different bridges. And those bridges, there's a purpose for each bridge. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
You got me, T?
Yeah.
You got me, T?
Yes.
There's a bridge. There's certain bridges that are made to go across certain things. Like if you ever looked at a bridge, right, that goes over water, how is the body of water real deep? Is it shallow? That's important. You know that, right? Because if you look at some of the bridges, they look, some of the bridges, they go, it's like a oval, and things can go under it. But there are bridges that ships cannot go under it. Is a reason, because if you look at the design of the bridge, it's meant for one thing, to get you to the other side, but it allows you to go through the things that you're going to have to go through. You know what I'm saying? To get to the other side. And so when you look at the analogy, some people were like, what are you talking about? You look at the analogy, what I'm saying, the purpose of a bridge. You know what I'm saying? How do you get to that point? How do you get to that point? Because you could take another route that may take you longer to get to your destination. But that bridge it's a shorter route versus going around the other route. And that's what I'm talking about, why I say the bridge and the gap. You know what I'm saying? I know that's why, when I met you, I knew that you was a strong brother, and was all, that's all you wanted to do, your passion. And I heard you speak the passion, and that's why we're talking about the bridge and gap. I know your desire is the same as mine. T's is the same as mine, but on a different level. She's a woman, she is the bridge to the gap. I know her personally, so she's the bridge, and a lot of people look up to her because of her personality, how she carry herself. So believe it or not, a lot of people watch her moves, watch how she talk, watch how she carry herself. Co-workers, family members, all of that, because she's a strong person. You are too, and so we have to be the torch to get the people to the other side of the bridge. You know what I'm saying? And encouraging them constantly. You know what I'm saying? T, you want to say something, T?
Yeah,
Because you
I have
look like you want to.
questions.
No.
Uh,
Lady T.
I feel like I'm getting to know.
Ask those questions.
So when
Go
did
ahead,
you
ask away.
when did you know you wanted to be a teacher?
I say, so my grandmother, who I lost her a long time ago. She was like my first teacher. She was like, hey, you gotta know how to read, you gotta know how to write, this and that. And then she was so passionate about it. And I think she was a counselor. If I remember what my mom told me what she did, she was a counselor, and she would help adults, learn how to read and write and stuff like that. So I think it was just kind of in me.
Mm-hmm.
They say like things are passed down.
Yeah.
Like, you could pass down trauma to your kids, even if they're unborn. It's kind of the same thing. I felt like that was just passed down to me. And I knew from a young age, you could ask anybody when I was in middle school, oh, I'm gonna be a teacher.
Wow.
And then I had the opportunity to have great teachers and just take from them. I stole some of the great qualities from them, and I said, well, when I become a teacher, I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to do this,
Right.
and I'm going to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to do that, because those things work. So I embody that, and even to this day, even when my coworkers, when I've come up and I've seen many great teachers in the classroom, I said, oh, I like what they're doing. I'm gonna steal that a little bit. You know what I mean? They say that's flattery. So you know what? And I'll tell them, listen, I saw you doing this. Yo, I went and I used that in my class.
Yeah.
And that makes people feel good because, like I said, I don't want to ever think that I'm perfect. Because once you think that you're perfect and you can't change, that's it.
It's over.
It's over.
That's
It's
right.
over. So that's why I keep telling my students, like, listen, I want y'all to teach me as much. I'm gonna learn from you as much as you're gonna learn from me.
Okay, I love your story. I do. And the reason why I asked is because it's so rare to see Black men as teachers. So is it rare as I think it is, or is it something that you see in your world a lot?
All right, so I'm gonna give you some stats since I'm a math guy. I got to. It's in me.
Okay.
So Black teachers, if we take in America, I'm gonna go in America, the grand scheme of things, we only make up 6% of the educators. So that means that 94% something else, right? And then of that 6%, only 1% are Black males. And of that 1%, only 1% are Black male educators. So that means that to come across a Black male math educator, it's rare. It's like running into a unicorn. So, so when a lot of times when I tell kids, I teach math, and some of my friends, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I've never had or kids even tell me, I've never had a Black male math teacher in my life."
Yep.
They say, "You the first one, mister."
Yep.
And to me, I'm like, "What you mean I'm the first?" Like, I know a lot of guys that know how to add. Why they not? What I mean? But it's not their calling, and I understand that. Like I said, you gotta have real thick skin because kids, not first of all, they, especially after COVID, there's learning gaps, and then now they're bringing the trauma into the classroom. Yep. And I think that you were talking about COVID, and I think what a lot of teachers don't understand, when I say you got to have thick skin, you got to understand that this trauma is coming into your classroom. How you going to deal with the trauma? Like for me, math is at the bottom of what I'm trying to do. I know they pay me to teach math. I get it. And I do on a day-to-day basis. But it's so many things we got to go through first before I could address math. Because if you dealing with trauma, how I'm gonna teach you about algebra?
When your mind's not there.
Yeah, your mind not there. I got to get your mind there first.
Right.
That's so good. That's so good. I want listen. I want to tell you something that you just said that is so true what you said. But here's an idea. I want to ask you a question real quick.
Okay.
All right. What do you think, and why do you think the kids that you teach connect with you so well? I want to see what you say first. What makes them connect with you so well? Other than just talking to them, there is something else that connects you to them. What is it?
Hey, this is a job interview questions type.
T, I promise you, when I say the answer, he gonna be like, you right. Because I told another teacher the same thing. And he's a brother, and he teach high school as well. But I want to see what you say.
Because I feel like I'm authentic. Like I'm authentic, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to put on the show. And some people be like, "Oh, you're a teacher. You got to be this way. You got to be that way." Listen. You coming here acting crazy? I'm gonna meet you. I'm gonna meet you where you are. Right? And the kids understand that. And when you organic and you are authentic, that's when they respect you.
Yeah.
How do you dress?
I mean, I just put on a button-up shirt, some pants, and some sneakers, man. That's how I come to work.
I listen. I promise you, Coach, that's key right there. And I'm serious.
Right.
Listen, not only are you're able to talk with them, but when they look at you, they get to know you, they say, "Oh man, he a cool teacher." But if you had a suit and tie on and always trying to crack that whip and say, "Look, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that," they're not gonna respond to you well. You know what I'm saying? They don't respond to authority that well sometimes. And the other teacher that I was talking to, I told him, I said, "Yo, man, listen, tighten up a little bit. Put on some young clothes because he's an older guy." I said, "Put on some young clothes. Hey, listen, they're gonna respond to you differently because now they feel like you down to earth. You not this teacher to come in with a suit and tie and you always got to be, oh, listen, we're gonna do it like this, kids. No, come down a little bit. Come to them and meet them, and they're gonna receive you differently. And you know what? As soon as he did that, they start acting a little different. I said, your approach is so like you older, so your approach is like, yo, I'm older, you gonna respect me? Nah, but he didn't say that. But like I said, the way you carry yourself, some people look at you and say, oh, you know what? Okay, and then when you talk, now they receive you totally. I think because when I met you, I said that's how I saw you. I said, man, he and look, you had your suit jacket on, but guess what? When I approached you based on what I see. You know what I'm saying? I was able to approach you because, like I said, you saw the people that was there. I came with shorts because guess what? Shorts, but I was dressed, you know what I'm saying, for the occasion. But it was a lot. It was a lot of people. They was dressed up. I was like, I felt out of place a little bit. I had me some shorts on, right? Dress shorts too. At that, they were dress shorts. I had me a little top on. I was like, am I underdressed? I said, oh, man. They was like dipped out. I was like, oh man. But
see, they was older though. You know what
exactly.
I mean? And older people, no matter where you going, you gotta be
dipped out.
You gotta be suited. We going to an event, we gotta be suited. Chef, right? It looked like church in there. But
no, for real. I was like,
it looked like church.
Yeah, and
I had an outfit too. I had an outfit where it was casual, or I could go to the club after. You know what I mean? Like it's either or. It depends.
And that's and look, and that's the key. We always talk about never judge a book by its cover. Nah, so sometimes that's what happened. People judge the book by its cover, and then when you do that, guess what? You miss out on the opportunity to speak to that individual. You know what I'm saying? And that, like I said, that's why I said about. That's key right there too, and I know that's what you do. You dress, accordingly, and how you feel. You feel up in that. I'm wearing me a nice shirt and some slacks and some sneakers. You're gonna do that, and see. And I promise you, the kids will react to that right there. They say, "Oh no, coach, man, he down to earth, man. I could talk to him." And then they see you conversating, not on a serious note, on a caring note. They're gonna receive you even more. They're gonna be like, man, I'm going to coach, man. He could talk to me about anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, man, I'm so proud of you, bro. And I just I'm serious because you don't. And guess what? That's what we need. See what we doing right now? We need this more so than anything. We need to encourage one another. And people out here, they just living life. They just doing what they want to do, and they ain't think about the next person. People need this, especially us Black men. We need it. You know what I'm saying? This encouragement, this is the type of platform we need. And like I said, I'm overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so happy to finally meet somebody else like, that want to do that for other brothers, other young kids and stuff like this. And then I'm gonna let T go because I know she want to say something else. But look, check this out. I used to teach after school program in Newark, right? At Quitman. I know you ever heard that school before, Quitman? It's like, all right, that's in Newark right here. Let me tell y'all something. So I know what you go through. Listen, that was it. The projects was right there, right? Mm-hmm. The kids that went to the school, to after school program was from the projects. Let me tell you something. The way I am right now, see how I'm animated, I be hype and all that type stuff, right? Listen, I had to be the same way with those kids' parents and everything. I say, hold on, listen, I love your kids, but I'm not about to let them just do what they want to do because they was like, I'm yelling at the kids. I say, yo, listen, I'm gonna yell at them. You know why? Because guess what? When they come to me and ask me for something, I give it to them, but I give it to them with an open heart. Not to say I'm giving you this. I don't manipulate them. And say I'm gonna give you this if you act right. No, I don't do that. I'm not gonna do that. So sometimes I was a little harsh on the kids, but I understood where they was coming from. Sometimes their parents would yell and curse at them. I didn't do all that. I was rough on them because I told them. I said, listen, I want you to succeed in life. This is just an after school program. I said, listen, come on, guys, let's do this together. What do you want me to do? I used to lay on the floor with them, do everything. They'd be like, D, you bugging. You getting all your clothes dirty? I said, no, because I want them to know how serious I am about them succeeding in life. I want them to understand that I'm not too good to get down there and have a good time with them, whatever. So I want them to be able to understand that it's people out here that have a passion for that. And they be like, man, I ain't going down there. I'm not doing all that. I said, well, you don't got to do it. I'll do it. I used to go out there and play with them in the grass and everything, rolling, because I want them to understand, like, yo, I'm deep. At that time, they called me Din Din. So I said, look, Din Din is going to be the most funnest teacher, but I'm also going to be able to talk to you and say, look, you're not going to do that. If you need your moms and dad to come talk to me, tell them come talk to me. I had a situation where the parents came and talked to me, got a little hostile with me. I said, hold on, y'all. Listen, we're not going to go that. We're not going to do that because guess what? I'm here for your child. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what I do, you get to know me. Here's my phone number. Call me. If you want to talk to me outside of work or whatever, come. Because guess what? I want you to know I'm sincere about this. I don't know about the next teacher. I don't know about the other after school program, but I'm not going to yell at them and treat them like they not worthy of my love. They worthy of my love. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, T. I know you wanted to say another question. Go ahead. Why you smiling? Go ahead. Because
in my mind, like keep it in your mind. Don't forget it. He's talking.
No, hey, listen. You can be like, yo, and look, and watch this. Hey, coach, I'll tell her. You could be like, yo, hey, you talking too much. Let me get in. Let me get in. Chain, ring that bell. Listen, I'm like that.
One day.
What you mean one day?
It will happen one day. So I applaud you. I do hope and pray. I have a prayer that you will be one of the teachers that will encourage other young men. Black men would be great to see them become teachers in the school system, to get a right mind, to have a right mindset to help build our people. So I encourage that for you, and I hope that that is something that you have in your future for yourself and your kids. So with that said, what kind of coach are you?
Well, I'm not a coach in the sense of an athletic coach,
Okay.
but in the program that I volunteer for in the summertime, they just call us, we call each other coaches, so like Coach Lewis and whatever other men volunteer for the program. Great man, Dr. Davis, Dr. Davis, right, Chef?
I do.
Yeah, Dr. Davis. So he gave us that title of coach because, again, a coach is a mentor. So, we coaching up these young men who, and like I said, these are at-risk youth who come in there and it's just like, whatever y'all talking about, we not trying to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's the summertime. So we like, all right, it's not real school, but we gonna see how this goes. And at the end, you see a whole 180 in these young men. So the coaching part is a mentor. It's, in a sense, it's really just a mentor.
It's a program that is not a part of a school system, but it's its own like entity type of how. I'm trying to understand the program you're.
So they support it's called the FSO, Family Support Organization, and they support the community, like families in the community.
Okay.
So they support all of Union County. So all the kids they from like all over.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Davis is kind of like me. That's why I've been with the program now for 5 years, is because when I met him, it was just like, this is who I can see myself becoming this. This is who I'm trying to become, And just the way like he is with the kids, like how Chef just said, he funny, he crack jokes. Well, when it's time to get serious, like he's serious.
Right.
You
And
know,
Dr. Davis is like, who is Dr. Davis?
he's the program director
Okay.
of the FSO for the Union County.
Okay.
And he reminded me so much of me. And I was just like, what I tell people all the time is you could feel greatness. You know, you could feel greatness and you could feel when something's off. But like I knew when I walked in there in that office, like I felt the greatness in that room. I was like, no, this is somewhere like I'm never gonna leave. I don't get paid. I don't get paid. That's my summertime. You know what I mean? Like, this is my free time.
Yeah.
But when we not just doing work in the community, we doing God's work. You know, so you could feel it. And I said, well, this is my purpose. This was my life's purpose, whether it's September to June or July to September. Like it doesn't matter to me. You know, like if I have the opportunity to inspire and motivate and change lives, I'm there.
That's right. I love it.
You asked him what type of coach he is.
But I didn't understand. I didn't know. I don't know him. This is my first time, so I had to ask. I know.
All right. So no. All right. I got something for you. Since you asked him what type of coach he is, right? Yeah, I'm at this. I don't be taking this the wrong way, but I want him to understand.
I like a coach like that. He explained it to me, and I like coaches like that. He's like a life. We call them life coaches.
There you go, life coach. It's like a life coach in a sense.
All right, but so At, what's your description? I'm being serious. What's your description of a coach? On whatever level. I'm asking you on whatever level. What do you think a coach is?
A coach is also a teacher. An instructor. I think of a coach can be in many different ways. I'm not talking just athletes. I'm talking about physical. It could be mental. There's different type of coaches. That's why I asked that question, because I didn't know what type of coach he was, and now he explained it, and I see him as a life coach. That's what I see him as.
And you were absolutely right. Yes, a life coach, but a coach is inspirational, encourager. You know what I'm saying? The leader. You gotta lead. Listen, you gotta lead your team to victory.
Right.
And guess what? Everybody can't be no coach.
I agree.
So when you, and that's why when he said he coached, I was like, ooh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He take on that. No, because guess what? It is a special talent, gift to be a coach to life, to school, to people. You know what I'm saying? You taking on a lot. And like I said, inspirational, a leader, a provider, because guess what? You got to provide them with knowledge so they can be able to understand if it's a game, if it's anything that they have to, a task they have to complete. You got to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's what. So I got a coach. Let me ask my questions. Okay? My questions. Like, let me get to know him. You know him. No, but I really no. We just met at the fundraiser. That's it.
But you know about him more than I do.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, again, I applaud you. That is beautiful to have your summer and you're spending it, giving back to the community and the children and those that need the help. That is wonderful. I've never met somebody like you, honestly. So you are rare, but I also see now that you explained to me that you came from an upbringing that brought you into this light to give the light to other people. And I am, honored to have a conversation with you because it's beautiful to see those type of people in the world. We don't have enough of them. You can say when I put next to you and what you're doing, I'm small. I know I'm not doing what you are, but I applaud you because we need more people like you. You are inspiration. And if I could possibly get there, I'm going to do baby steps. I'm different. So, but I applaud you. I really do.
You ain't on no baby steps. Get out of here. You ain't going to do no baby steps. You got to get up out of here. You want to talk about baby steps. Get out of here. Oh man. Man. So
I appreciate that.
So coach,
Uh-huh.
let me ask you something.
Okay.
How old is your child? You have 2 children, 1 child?
4.
What? 4?
Yeah.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
So what's the ages? What's the ages?
My oldest is 15. I have a 12-year-old, and I have a set of twins, a boy and a girl, that just turned 10 not too long ago.
Wow. Aww.
Oh snap! Now you know why I asked you that. I'm going to show you why I asked you that.
Okay.
You know, I have 2. My children, my girls are grown, right?
Mhm.
But now you have mid teens and smaller. I don't know what to call the 10-year-olds. Who would you call them, T? Would you no? I mean, like, what'd you call them? They passed toddlers. Huh?
Nah,
Preteens?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
I guess you you can say preteens, right? So how was your coaching with them?
You know, it's
Now listen,
I'm
I don't want
to. I'm gonna say this: the same way I treat my kids, my biological kids, I treat my kids in the classroom. My expectations don't waver. Like, it's the same, because I feel like that's just the approach you gotta have. Like, when somebody say I'm a teacher, I say, you already failed. Like, I'm a teacher, I'm a parent, I'm a counselor, I'm a coach. Like, these are all the hats that I wear when I step into that classroom. And it's the same thing at home. You know what I mean? So, and when I walk into that classroom, I'm mentally prepared myself to be all of these things. And the expectations I have the same expectations for the kids in my class that I got for my kids in the house. I don't want my kids in my house, my biological kids, to fail. And I want them to be great. Same thing I want for those kids that's sitting and looking at me when I'm at the board. I keep the same expectations. Y'all my kids. That's why I refer. People say, "Oh, the students and stuff." No, I say my kids. People be like, "The students." I'll be like, "Well, yeah." But I'm so used to saying my kids because that's how they like my kids.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I have a few. They graduated years ago. They like one. This young man is 24 now. He worked in Roselle now. I just kind of adopted him, man. You know, because listen, like I said, they like my kids, and you know, if he going through something, and hey, listen, hey, I'm here. This is what I didn't sign on. Oh, I didn't sign a 4-year contract. I gotta make sure that as long as I'm on this earth, you being productive. I don't care if you 30, I'm gonna call you out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, come on now. Listen, this ain't what I had. This ain't the expectations I had for you when you graduate. I need you to do better. You know? And so that's my approach. And even when my daughters, I got 3 girls and a boy. When my daughters, when they 30, I'm gonna still be talking. My mom's still talking to me when I'm messing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do the same thing. I just kind of just take on that approach. And I think that's just what makes me different than everybody else. Like, everybody else look at them as students and a paycheck. I look at them as my kids. Like, what if they were my biological kids, what would I want for them by the end of this school year? You know? And I think that's the approach. That's what makes me different than a lot of other teachers. So
beautiful. Yeah. I love it.
No, I asked you that because man, listen, I tell my audience, I tell people I'm very transparent. They be like, "Boy, you wildin'." No, listen, my daughters, man, a little different. I be like, "Oh my goodness." I try to, and you know what? I could talk to them. Like I just like you said about the kids, I talk to them like I'm very transparent. I talk about anything, right? But it's like the reason why I asked you that is because it's like, man, that when I talk to them, they be like, "Oh, I hear you, Daddy." But somebody else say something to them, it's like they listen to them more than they listen to me. They grown, but I be like, "Yeah, I just told you that." That's why I asked you that, you know, because I know this generation, man. Listen, TV, they friends, They get with them and they like, oh, yeah, forget about daddy. You know what I mean? Daddy ain't gonna know.
Right. And like I said, when you work with teens, teens think they know everything, man. They just think
Word.
they know everything. And then, I try to talk to them, but I give them the space to fail because I believe failure is a good thing, and that's one of the things I teach the first day, like my first day of class, like, because, the schools have this mindset of pushing kids through. No, I'm gonna make y'all comfortable with failure. Failure is how you grow. Failure breeds success.
Yes,
And they never understand that saying until the end of the year. Because, a lot of times, kids fail and then it's like, oh no, they coddle them. Oh, come on.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, I need you to get comfortable with failure because that's how you're going to grow. If everything become easy to you, you're not going to appreciate it.
Yep, that's right.
Same thing with my kids, and I share with the kids too. They
I'm
think
listening.
that our teachers were geniuses. I share with them, I was a C student. You a C, so how you teaching us? I wasn't focused. You know what I mean? I didn't know the potential that I had until later on in life. And and by the time we get to the end of the year, they never believe me that no, you really wasn't a C student. You just say that. Then I pull up my transcript. There you go. 2.4. You see that 2.4? That was me. So how you get so good at it?
Over and over.
After failing, I realized, you know what I mean?
Over and over.
Yeah, over and over. You practice, you put the time in, and you grow.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the. I was texting my wife. She had called me. Yeah, that's key. You know what I mean? So but listen, it is truly honor to just be here with you and talking to you because like I said, your job and your journey is not easy. It's tough. But I so I want to encourage you too. Now, my encouragement comes to you is that make sure you continuously praying. You know what I'm saying? Praying is the key to your strength. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we could get lost in this world and forget about how God has blessed us. So I definitely want to encourage you to constantly continue to keep praying, for strength, and God will continue to bless you abundantly. And most people don't really focus on that, but that's key because when you going through something, who's there to help you along the road? You know what I'm saying? Or your obstacles, you know what I'm saying? And so that's going to be, you know, your strength, your prayer life. And never forget that. You know what I'm saying? I want to encourage you with that because it is true. It's true. Even in myself. And that why I say that to you is because, without me having a prayer life, I wouldn't be as strong as I am today. You definitely have to have thick skin to deal with people that's not ready to receive the way you want to teach, of not teaching in the school or teaching them in the everyday life. You know what I'm saying? And and what's getting me over is praying. And I encourage you to continue to pray on this journey because it's going to get harder. It's not going to get easier. It's definitely going to get hard. No, I'm serious. It's going to get harder because there's a saying that my pops always say: the wicked are going to get wickeder. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be worse than what they are right now. So and that's going to be the key to allowing you to navigate through all of the nonsense, all of the evil spirits, because they're going to come. And I want you to be encouraged with that. And like I said, I got some other things coming on. I'm definitely going to bring you in, but make sure you share uh, this link to people, the podcast, but also not just share it, but I want them to be able to hear you because the people that you're connected with, they'll hear you as well, and they hear your message. And sometimes when you don't believe it, there are people watching, people that you don't expect to watch. They're watching, and you want to, like you said, you want to be real. And I'm always that. That's who I am. I'm a real person. I'm like I don't try to be this fake person. I don't like to be dealing with fake people. Right, T?
That's right.
And but on another note, are there any organizations that other than the FOS, it's FOS, right?
FSO.
FSO
Uh-huh.
that you affiliated with, like men groups?
Men groups?
Yeah.
No. Not yeah, no, not affiliated with men groups. Most of the groups that I'm associated with, it's advocacy groups for young people.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm just recently, it's a youth advocacy group. The director, I knew him. I used to work with him at the high school. He left and he went and worked for this program. I can't remember the name right now, but I know it's a youth advocacy program. And he called me up and was like, "Listen, I got some kids, man. They struggling in math, and he went through the whole nine." And I was like, "Listen, if you call me, that means it's serious." And they were really at-risk youth.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to go there and just tutor them on Saturdays and just talk to them. And these were kids who they had all kind of issues in school and stuff like that. And I said, y'all sitting here and y'all laughing and y'all think I'm funny. So like, what's going on? And I'm talking to them and I'm watching the people like, yo, you pulling the best out of them. And I said, because again, when you in that classroom, people get so caught up on this is my job, and this is my job description that they lose sight of these are kids. This is a blank canvas in front of me. Right? I look at kids as a blank canvas. So I don't expect much from them. They gonna come in there, they gonna be cursing and stuff like that. I've heard some nasty curse words, but I'm not kicking the kid out. So listen, why are you using that kind of language? So now I got to teach you how to code switch. You know what I mean? That's what a teacher is. I got to teach you other things besides the math. I mean, we're gonna teach you math, of course, because I don't want to get fired, But
Right. I get it.
But like I said, I got 45 minutes, sometimes 80 minutes with them. 80 minutes, I got to leave an impact, because a lot of times I'm with them more than their parents. Learn from their friends.
Mm-hmm.
I got to teach them as well. Hey, listen, this is cool. I get it. You want to be cool with your friends, but let me teach you how to do this. Let me teach you this. This is how you talk to a young lady. This is how you talk when you in this situation. Pull your pants up. This and that, the whole nine, so, and I know I saw I went off on a tangent, but yeah, I work with the youth advocacy program. I work with an organization that's housed down in Atlanta called Dream House. I want to shout out Dream House, because when I share this, I'm gonna shout them out. Dream House do great things in Atlanta. Every year they do like a young men's summit that they invite me to, and I go down there and I just tell my story of how I became a math teacher, and then I tell them like I'm one of one. I don't care how many teachers you line up and ask them, like, you're not gonna find too many black male math educators.
Right.
Not only that, I literally have a degree in math. Well, my degree not in education. My GPA wasn't high enough to get that degree, the education. So my degree is in math. So I tell them I'm a mathematician.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about.
And I say you could go to any high school and ask all of the teachers. It doesn't matter if they math teachers. Ask them how many of them got a math degree.
Mm-hmm.
None of them gonna have a math degree. That's the hardest degree to get.
It is.
That's 1% of that degree. Only graduates 1% of people every year.
Oh, I believe it. Math is a beast.
when I grad and I tell them this story, I said when I graduated, it was only 6 people that graduated. 6. You know how many black men was there? One. Me. I was the only black man.
You?
That was it.
Really? Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, you should have brought that at the beginning. I probably would have been like, oh, wow.
It was one. And now if you go to the universities and ask them how many people are seeking out math degrees, they saying this is less than 1%. It's the hardest degree to get.
But there's a lot of knowledge in math. There really is a lot of knowledge.
It is. So I, Coach, the reason why I asked you that is because how do you keep yourself, full of strength? When you're dealing with, these children or, these young adults, how do you stay, stable? How do you continue to, be in your right mind? What keeps you in your right mind? You know what I'm saying? Other than, your family, or what keeps you in your right mind? Because sometimes it can be draining as a coach.
Listen, it's prayer. If I can, I'll get personal and share a story with you.
Yeah, come on, yeah, that's what we here
for. We talk about strength, and I had a weak moment some years ago where I had a panic attack. Oh my God. At work,
okay,
I had a panic attack, and I didn't know what it was. I thought I was dying. You couldn't tell me. I was like, oh, this is the Lord calling me home. This is it. Because it was during the pandemic, and teachers were quitting left and right. And like I said, I look at Abraham Clark. I graduated. That's my home. You know what I mean? And learning from men around me, men and right, you gotta protect your home at all costs. And I'm seeing like just falling apart. So I took on the weight of all the other teachers, and I'm trying to help them, and I'm trying to still help the kids, but I don't know how to help the kids because it's remote and everything. And then we had new administrators, and they don't know what to do, so the tone in which they addressing us was just terrible, and teachers crying and everybody crying. And I'm trying to hold it all together because I'm trying to be a leader. I mean, people looked at me as a leader. I don't know why, but they just looked at me as a leader in that building. But then one day I was just at work, and then it felt like I thought I was having a heart attack. You couldn't tell me. I was like, oh, like my chest was beating, and I was falling to the ground, and I'm like, I couldn't breathe, and my mind. So when I explain the panic attack to people, I say, look, the first thing that go is your mind. Like your mind, literally, you can't control your thoughts. So I'm having all kind of thoughts. It's crazy stuff like, this is it. I'm gonna die. It's all over the place. And it was so bad to the point where I didn't even want to tell my wife because I already know she was going to take it to the next level. Like she gonna panic and start getting scared. So I was about to check myself into Trinitize, but then I said, no, I can't do that. Because as a black man, we're not supposed to show signs of weakness. I know that sounds terrible. But it's just true. Society standards tell us as black men, we're not supposed to have weak moments. So what I did is I turned to the one person who I know I could turn to in any situation. I just turned to God and I prayed. I said, God, if it's my time, take me. But if not, whatever's going on, I just ask that you fix it. Mm-hmm. And then, after I prayed and I started breathing and I figured it out. And then, after talking to a couple of people, somebody said, "Yo, that's a panic attack." I said, "Nah, it's time, no panic." I said, we black men don't have panic attacks. Like we don't that's not what we do. You know what I mean? They said, nah, it happens. They said, when you put too much stress on yourself, the mind is the first thing that go. You're not protecting your mind. Like your mind is going to affect your body. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. Your mind, you had so much going on up here. It just caused you to whatever happened, it snapped. Because I remember it. I was reading the email. That's when it happened. I'll never forget that day. I was reading the email. We was all getting yelled at, and my mind just snapped. And I felt like I was having a heart attack, everything. But then from then on, I just said, you know what? I got to be strong. I'm going to pray. And then I start running and going to the gym, finding productive ways to relieve the stress, because we got to think about that too. My diet probably wasn't the best at that time. So all of this other stuff, your mind is not good. You putting trash into your body. Of course, what you think was going to happen, So, and I'm getting older, hey, listen, it happens. So now, I pray, I can't say I go to church like I'm supposed to, Chef. Well, you know, I do
Oh,
pray.
hey, look, no, don't do that to me. Don't do that. See, look, my co-host looking at me.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I
Don't do that. Look, I would listen. I look, coach, because
Yeah.
look, I've learned. Listen, I am a church goer, but I don't knock people for not going to church. I just encourage them. So don't think that because I say, oh, you don't go. No. Listen, because seriously, because I just learned that, just myself, you know what I'm saying? And I want people to go to church. Yeah, that's cool. But guess what? Everybody have to find their way. You know what I'm saying? So I used to be like, yo, you gotta go to church. If you don't go to church, but at the end of the day, no, I'm serious. I did. I just, and I'm being honest. Like I said, I'm transparent.
Yeah.
I just realized that I can't be like that. You know what I'm saying? Telling people, oh, you should go to church. No, listen, find your way. But what I can do is tell you there is something that wants you to be a better person, and that is Christ. Mm-hmm. And as you grow in Christ, you'll see that you want to be assembled with other people that does that, because there is something that happens on the inside that it won't happen just on a regular. You know what I'm saying? It stares, something has to stir you up on the inside. You know what I'm saying? And that's for me. Like, everybody's not the same. That's for me it's going to church is something that stirs my spirit up. It's like a stir up, and I love just being around other people that want to worship and do that. You know what I'm saying? So don't get discouraged because you don't feel. Don't ever feel like with me. Hey, listen.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just sharing that because.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I'm gonna share the video, and I already know I'm gonna have my pastor, who's like my grandfather. His name Bishop Johnson. He gonna call me. You gotta get in church, Rev. Listen, Rev, if you watch this, I'll still pray every day. I'll still pray every day.
But you listen. Hey, look. The most important thing. Watch this, and like you said, if your pastor is watching, and this is the truth, he will say the same thing. That young man is being honest with you. As long as you got a true relationship with God, with Christ, you'll be all right. You'll be all right, because guess what? And but not only that, listen, you have to study to show thyself approved. And what that means is you have to study the word, so then you'll understand it. And then guess what? God will put you in the right places that you need to be with the right people. And because there's certain things that we go through in our lives that there is nobody to teach us. We have to be taught to learn how to live in this world now as an adult, because there's so much going on. You know what I'm saying? And that I tell people, because I there's a guest that I want them to come on, because they always talk about bad about the church. And I said, no, listen, just like the club, watch this. If this is just to encourage you to understand this. And I know, watch this. What I tell people. When you go to a club, right? If the music is trash, you don't stay there. You be like, oh, I'm out of here, right? If the women there are not something that's enticing to your eye, you're out of there, right? Right, Coach?
Before I was married, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
giving that on there.
Gotta throw that in there.
I'm married too, but I'm giving.
Yeah, I get what you say. Yeah,
I'm giving you the analogy of going to church. You have, and I tell people this: you got to find the right place for you, because guess what? You have something that you like. You know what I'm saying? And that's good for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always tell people about the club. Because if you're still going to the club, or you're going to a lounge or whatever, and the music got to be good. That's number one. And the music's good, you're going to be like, okay, now I'm staying. And then now you can communicate, you can talk to people, you can do whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now it's the same thing. There are churches that are not meant for everybody, because they're looking for something other than just music. Because, like I said, I tell people the music is something that speaks to the spirit first. Now, the message that comes across, guess what? Now it's talking to you. Now God is really talking to you. You know what I'm saying? You have to, and that's I tell them, you got to find the right. If you like Going to the club, you got to find the right club for you. Some people like reggae music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not a person that like reggae music, you're not going to a reggae club.
Right.
Period. So that's the same thing about church. You have to find the right church that moves you. That's all. And you got to be honest with and just be honest. It's just, that's how it is. You know, some people don't know how to take that. You know, I like I said, I learned. I'm learning that myself. I can't always talk about just going to church. It's not. It's more than that because guess what? The conviction will show you what it is, and then like I said, the love that you have for God, God's gonna move your heart to go to wherever place you need to go. Because look, I follow Tim Ross, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was a pastor, a minister, right? He do the podcast. Guess what? He's a minister. He not into church. He don't go to church. He go to places and minister the word, but he don't have his own church. And I get that. I understand that now because his journey may not be in a church. It may be doing what he's doing right now. He's reaching a lot of people. He's encouraging a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And then guess what? Their desire to go to church, that's their own personal thing. You know what I'm saying? But listen, you think God's going to not love you because you don't go to church? No, you're doing a great job now. You feel me? You doing his work. You are. I'm serious. You are because guess what? I know without a shadow of doubt you have helped. That's why it's the bridge and the gap. You have brought a lot of people to the other side because there's kids that's probably wanted to commit suicide, and what you do, you encourage them. You made them see a different light. You made them come through the storm, and now they're going to cross the bridge. You know what I'm saying? You helped them along the way because they were fearful of things, and you help them overcome all their fears. If not some, all. You know what I'm saying? So you don't ever think that you got to go to church. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people this now because your journey is different than the next person. You have to walk. You have to allow God to lead you in your journey, and when you allow God to lead in your journey, wherever God leads you, you'll be in the right place. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever.
But I had to learn that recently, like I said, when I was going through all of that with the panic attack that I was going through, like God, I feel like God put me in that position to tell me, yo, I'm trying to lead you somewhere and you're not listening, and you see what happened when you don't listen. It was like, I'll tell people all the time, God got a sense of humor and he like a parent. He gonna spank you sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's what them trials and tribulations are. It's a spanking, It's saying, you wasn't listening. I'm trying to help you and you not listening. And I don't to use the analogy, I guess, like, when women say, oh, God, send me a good man, and then they send a good man, God, he not 6 feet tall. Like, what you want? You know what I mean? Like, I sent you what you wanted, and you still telling me no. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the situation.
That's good, no? Man, listen, I pray to God that some women out there heard that because, that's what it is. See, and I was just at prayer. I go at prayer at church, and that's what the pastor said. Listen, you pray for something, right? You said, like you said, you pray for something, and guess what? You didn't pray, God, let your will be done in my life, right. Regardless of what it is, let it be done. And people say, oh yeah, like you said, then women say, oh God, give me a good man. Guess what? Your man may not be what you looking for.
Exactly.
That person may not be. Stop looking for that, because guess what? If you really want God to send you something, it may not be what you want. Because sometimes God wants us to do things that we don't want to do, but guess what? He said, okay, cool. You don't want to do it? All right. I'm going to sit there and watch you. I'm still going to love you, still going to have compassion for you. But guess what? You chose that. So guess what? Now I'm still loving you. I'm still allowing you to do it all over. I'm allowing you to go through all the mess that you created.
Mm-hmm.
So now, guess what? Don't say I don't love you. I love you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's key right there.
And I'm in a great place now because I finally took that step back and I let God lead. You know what I mean? And I just follow now. So like even like I said, with the FSO, it was God put me in that room. I did not know Dr. Davis prior to stepping into that room. I was just in school. I was getting my graduate degree, and I met a young lady, and she was like, "Listen, I think this program would be great." And something was like, "Just go see what it's about." I think that was God telling me, "Go see what it's about."
Mhm.
And when I went there, like I said, you could feel the greatness, and I knew. I was like, "Okay, God is setting me up for greatness. Like he never gonna put me in a bad situation,
Right.
as long as I just follow and I believe." And same thing. Like now, um, early in my teaching career, like teachers don't make a lot of money. They don't. Just keep. I working like 2 or 3 jobs. Just to provide for my family, and then all of this stuff happened, and then God was like, "You ready to listen?" And then He moved me to another school that solved all my financial problems, my mental health better. Uh, my passion is ignited again. Like, so all of these things that I was asking for, I wasn't listening for so long. And then when I was down to my lowest point, like I said, when he gave me that spanking, he's, "You ready? You ready to listen now?" I said, "I'm ready to listen." And when I listened, everything improved. Just like that. Just in a matter of months, everything improved.
That's
That's
wonderful.
that's that's it. That's
That
I
was
see.
your gentle reminder. Like, that's how I see it. When I heard your story, it's like just a gentle reminder because you took the time to sit there and get your thoughts together and pray while you were going through it. You at least did that. So you didn't have to go to the extreme, but that was your reminder. Keep going. And it's a balance. We do need a balance of our faith being renewed and we come back to our source. Sometimes we always forget when we have so much going on in life, especially around COVID. So I can imagine.
Mhm.
Your
They-
story is beautiful.
yes, man. Yeah, listen, I look. You gonna be like, see, you know how you do with the kids. You gonna be like, "Man, D, man, why you keep bothering me?" I'm gonna be bothering you now. Not on. You think I'm joking? Cause look, listen,
No,
I'm gonna bring you in on a lot of stuff. Not this. I'm not talking about podcast, but like when I move, I'm definitely gonna chime you in, hit you in, and bring you in. Say, yo, look, I got this minute thing. I'll make sure I'm gonna hit you in advance, see if you're available, and yo, let's go, bro. Come on. I like to travel, so I like to move. I move around a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know I got a wife sometimes, but what it is it's not that I'm leaving my wife out. It's for the men. You know what I'm saying?
right,
To take this journey so we can go to things. And guess what? You're a husband. You're a leader. You know what I'm saying? You're a leader of your household. You're the priest of your household. So with that being said, you need to gather as much information so you could be a better husband, a better friend, brother, a better father. Because I'm constantly working on being that. You know what I'm saying? My doors stay open for my kids, my
right.
sons. Like my sons is doing great things. You know what I'm saying? My sons, one son, man, look, he in college, run track. Yo, he didn't went down to the school. You know what I'm saying? And started his first black I said sorority. I'm about to say sorority fraternity, bro. Paid for it, everything. You know what I'm saying? He goes to his school that he go to is Lincoln University. No, not Lincoln. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I was about to say my brothers, man. Uh, hold on, I lost the school, but nah, because I was calling out my brother's school. I said Lincoln, but no, it's not Lincoln. Um, but it's down in West Virginia.
Okay, okay.
So, the school is predominantly white. So he was like, "Yo, I want to start the first black fraternity here." I was like, "What, man? Awesome!" And now he in Cali, and he's doing an internship, a salesman. Something he don't even do. But like I said, I was kind of skeptical about him going, but then you know what I said. We prayed about it. He prayed about it. I said, "Look, if it's God's will for you to go, it'll happen." Sure enough, it smooth sailing. He went over there, smooth sailing. Sent us a video of where he's living at, and he'll rent free, all that type. Man, listen, and
Wow.
that's when God, and I said Cali. I ain't even been to Cali yet. I'm on my verge of going this year. I ain't even been. You know what I'm saying? But that, see how when God wants something for you, and you walking into what God has for you, this what happens. It just happens, and it's a smooth transition. It's not, oh man, I ain't got the money. Oh, I ain't got this. No, smooth transition. And like you, just like yourself, smooth transition. When you, like you said, when you start to be obedient to what God said, you ready to listen. It was a smooth transition, was it not?
It was.
Exactly. When you doing what God has for you, sometimes, like I said, we don't want to move. We want to be like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. God said, okay, cool. But when you move it into His will, smooth. I say that. I say,
yeah, I had to learn that the hard way because I was that mountain that I ain't want to move. I was a mountain, and I forgot God could move mountains. You know what I mean?
Word. Look, yeah. So, man, listen, it was I gotta. I'm gonna head out myself. It's a pleasure to have you on here. We definitely will have you again. But I'm just remember to share, also, I definitely want to tell. I'll text you. There's something I want to share with you too.
Okay.
See if you. I want you to look into it before you dive into it. But I want you to look at it and see if it's something that interests you. I'm working on doing it myself. But also, when you out there, you're dealing with those kids, man. If you ever need a helping hand, man, you out there in summertime, holla at me, man, because I need that too. Because I'm open to that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm always about encouraging young people. I have the time because God has blessed me with that time, and how He has blessed me with that time. Listen, I've been at my job for 17 years, and I work 5 a.m. to noon, so I have a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? On my hands. I work Tuesday through Saturday. So, afternoon, I'm free. You know what I'm saying? I can do a lot of other things that I want to do. So I'm blessed with that. You know what I'm saying? Saturdays is kind of hard because my wife, she be like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. So Saturday and Sundays too, it's kind of difficult. But during the week, like I said, afternoon, I'm always available. So if you need a helping hand, you got my number, so I'm always available to do that, bro. And I'm serious about that. And if as you get to know me, you'll know that I'm a serious person when it comes down to that. So and I'm loyal too. So I'm saying that because that's who I am. I'm a loyal person. So when I put it out there, I'm loyal. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we're gonna get up out of here. We're gonna close. But listen, Coach, we're definitely gonna reach out to you, and I appreciate you. And listen, keep up the good work, and always keep encouraging.
All right.
I thank y'all for having me. This was
word, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome conversation.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to y'all bringing me back.
Oh, we got.
Make sure. What's your most viewed video? What's your most viewed video?
My most viewed.
Oh
yeah. I mean, offhand, nah. But I can tell you right now. I got my phone right here. But I can tell you right now. Hold on, because that's a yo. You know what? That's a good question, bro. That's a good question. No, I'm serious. That's real good, bro. Look, I got my phone right here with me, right? So I'm going to it right now, right? So look, here's the thing. So we go to that, right? It's March 11th.
Okay.
2024. I got 678 views. Check that out.
I'm gonna check that out.
678 views on that. And basically that was a short. So basically I was talking and they looked at it. You know what I'm saying? So it was catchy. So check it out.
Good. So I'm gonna make sure this one follows suit. We get 700.
Oh, no doubt. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it.
We building the platform right now.
Of course. And look, listen. And anytime, look, you got my number. Anytime that let's say you want to have a discussion about something, you really want to get it out there. Yo, this is the place for it too. Anytime you just call me, say, yo, D, what you doing? Because see, I'm available to do it any day. But my co-hosts, we only do it together. We do it on Monday and Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? But I'm available to do it during the week too. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It don't make a difference. So, if you have any discussions that you want to talk about, that's encouraging, that's inspiring, man, listen, we always here. I'm always here.
Dynamic. It got to be Chef, Miss Lady T, and together.
Now watch this. Now, I might get punched later. But I think Lady T might be available on Tuesdays and Thursdays too. Might. I said might. I got to throw it out there because I do have to respect her time and her, her beauty sleep.
It's called duties of life.
No, for sure. No, for sure. Because listen, I had to stop. Look, I had to stop on Fridays, and the reason why I stopped on Fridays is because, this is time consuming, and not only time consuming that I have to respect my wife's time. You know what I'm saying? Because I spend Monday and Wednesday here, and then Friday come rolling around. She'd be like, want to do something. I'd be like, "Beg, I do the podcast." And she'd be like, "Okay." And she's very loving. She'd be like, "Okay," but now I said, "You know what? Let me pull back." And I was encouraged by my co-host. She's like, "Yo, that's a little too much." So I said, "You know what? You're right. So, I was obedient. I was like, "Yeah, let me stop doing on Fridays." So, but I'm glad you said that you want to be with Lady T. So yes, we definitely going to do it either Monday or Wednesday.
It was great.
So yes, it was great. We'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you later, T. And Coach, enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right. It was nice talking with you both and meeting you, Miss T.
Nice meeting you too.
Yep.
Great.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.